a message is coming through about like confirmation bias, or like feeling delulu, or like feeding your delusions. And this has like come through in some other messages a little bit, but it keeps coming back to me. So Spirit is saying like this needs to come out in like its own message. So what's coming through is, if you feel like you are like, you're seeing so many like signs and synchronicities, you're hearing the same messages repeating over and over by like all sorts of different creators, and you're starting to wonder if like it's just like the algorithm, or like confirmation bias, or whatever, like you're being pigeonholed into this repeating loop of stuff. No. Yes and no. Yes, but that is exactly the point, right? I just saw 4-4 and 3-3 confirmation. It is alignment, okay? It is alignment, and it is proof that you are creating the reality that you want to see. Because, so here's the thing. So the placebo effect, confirmation bias, delusions, like it's all the same stuff. It's just what you choose to believe is true is true. And so the more that you align with your truth, you're going to start seeing confirmation all around you. So when you lived in a world before that was not super open and accepting of like these ideas, or like you didn't feel supported in your dreams, or you didn't feel like it was possible, or whatever, all the limiting beliefs, all the fears, all the programming, when you move out of that and into a space where you're really aligned with your truth, and you start to trust that, and you start to surrender to the flow, and you start to believe in yourself, and you start to believe that just maybe this is possible for you, and you start to believe that just maybe this can happen for you, and you can be one of the ones who make it, right? Like it's possible, and you start to believe in that a little bit. And then you start to see more content around these ideas, and you start to hear the same messages repeating over and over, and you start to see the same signs repeating over and over, and you start to move into like this collective that is all experiencing the same thing, or similar things, similar energies, right? And sometimes we get to that space, and then we go, oh shoot, like I need to get off of TikTok, or I need to like stop feeding my delusions, or okay, if that's what you feel called to do that thing. 222 on the timer. But you can also flip it and start to trust that this is just the universe reflecting back to you what you are starting to believe within, because that is what happens when we, like, the world is just a reflection of our inner beliefs, of our inner world. Whatever we believe to be true, and whatever story we are telling ourselves within, is what we will start to see reflected externally. So when you get to the point where your external reality is starting to repeat and reflect all of the things that you believe, and everybody around you, at least online, seems to believe the same thing that you believe, and the same things that you're starting to think about, and the same things that are coming into your field, that's just confirmation that you have shifted into a reality where that is true. And so of course the people around you are also going to think that is true. Does that make sense? I'm trying to, I hope this is making sense. This is just coming through, and I've been receiving this so much, and I haven't been able to get the right words. So I know this is going to find the people that it's meant to find them. And please do use your discernment, and always check into your energy and your intuition, and only take what resonates for you and leave the rest for somebody else, because that's the thing. 333. You decide what is true for you. What is true for me does not have to be true for you. If you do not resonate with me, you do not have to be here. You do not have to stay here. Don't try to make something fit, right? And I say that with so much love and acceptance and non-judgment. But when you align with stuff, and you see messages, you see people, you see content, you see information, confirmation that aligns with you and that feels good to you, you get to trust that, and you get to have more of that. We have this weird belief that when things feel good to us, that must mean that it's not real. And that is a layer of programming that can be peeled back from you, that you can see, you can confront, you can have the awareness of, and say, oh, that's a past version of me that is still stuck in those old stories and those old loops and the old belief system, that is flagging this and saying, hey, this feels good, that must be wrong. And so what you need to do is look at that version of you that is feeling that, and show them the truth now. Give them the information that you have now, because they're stuck in time, they're stuck in that loop, and they don't know what you know now. They don't have the experience that you have now. They don't have the wisdom that you have now. So you have to give that to them. You have to give that back in time. And that is how healing happens. We can heal like the past, which heals us now, which heals our future. And this goes for you and for your lineage. So when you notice these things that are pulling you back into the old, into the things that don't feel good, when you start to lose, like when you start to question your faith, when you start to question your trust in yourself and the universe and God and whoever you believe in, when you start to question that, same thing with like simulation theory. It's all, that's the thing, everything is all connected, and it's all code, and it's all what you wire in your brain and choose to believe is what is created in your reality, okay? And you are in charge of that. You are in charge of that. When you stop playing the game of the old programming loops, when you stop playing that game and you start to create your own, that is when you live. That is when you are free. Okay, and there's a period in that transition though where you question it and you start, like, you're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and it's like, I don't know. So when you fully land and you start to see that reflected in your reality, trust in that, lean into it. 555 on my timer. Okay, lean into it and let that take you, let that root you into that reality so you can expand even further, and then you're just going to see even more evidence of that. And that is how we create a better world. When more people start to believe in this, you start to see it reflected all around you. You do that, you create that. The more that you lock into that belief, you start to reflect out from you, all around you. Everyone else starts to believe these things too. Everyone else starts to see the truth too. That is how it works. Okay? That is how it works, but you have to give that back to these versions of you that still feel the fear, that still are living in that old programming. You have to show them what you know now to be true and bring them into alignment with you now, with all of your wisdom. That's how you collapse time. Massive ringing in my ears. Massive ringing in my ears. Woo. Yeah, I just felt that. Like, that's how you collapse time. That is how you collapse time. You have to bring all versions of you, all the past versions of you that don't understand what you understand now. You have to give them that information so that they can collapse into the now, into you now. You pull it all in. You collapse time and you begin to live the life that you came here to live. You step out of the programming, you step out of the old, and you live the life that you want to live. And through doing that, through you being the lighthouse, living the life that you want to live, showing up in the world authentically and shining your light so brightly, you change the world. You show other people that it is possible. That is what light is. Light shines into the darkness. The darkness is not bad. The darkness is what we have to go through to learn the lessons, to understand duality. We have to go through that. Everything is planted in the dark. Seeds are in the dark. Seeds are planted in the dark. And everything happens beneath the surface before you see anything in the real world, before you see the bloom. It all has to happen in the dark first. And that is what this journey is. That is what life is. You come from source. You come from the all that is. You come from light. You get dropped into this physical world of darkness, and you slowly build your light back up, right? And your truth, you come home to yourself, you come home to your truth, and then you shine your light back on the darkness to heal that, to give that, to illuminate that in your truth. That goes for you personally, and then externally. When you stand in your truth and shine your light unapologetically, brightly, loudly, freely, with love and acceptance and non-judgment, when you do that and you shine that out into the world, you illuminate all of the people who are still in the darkness and who don't understand that they can do that too. And you activate that within them. You plant the seed within them, and then they have to go through the journey themselves. You cannot do it for them. That's not your responsibility. You have to release the attachment to that. You are not responsible for other people's journeys, other people's reactions, other people's feelings, emotions. You're not responsible for that. When you stand firm in who you are with your heart open, and you lead with your heart and love and acceptance and kindness and compassion, and you put that out into the world, how anybody else responds to you or reacts to you is not your responsibility. You have to detach from that and trust that the seed has been planted, and that they have to now nurture that and grow that and go on their own journey. Okay? Just like you had to go on your own journey. That was big. That was a big shift for whoever found this. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Keep going, okay? Keep going. Lean in, open up, expand further and further, but root down. Every time you feel that expansion, root it down, ground it down. Okay, we're going to be doing a live activation on September 6th, doing this and so much bigger. It's going to be so powerful. It's going to be so, so beautiful. I cannot wait. I would love to have you there. If you can't make it live, there will be a replay. Everyone who registers gets the replay, okay? And my Patreon members get special discounts, even the free tier. So go join that for a special discount if you don't want to pay the full $33. Okay, love you.